Good morning. It's Monday and it's March 30th. Tomorrow's the last day of March. It's also my mom's birthday. I'm going to call her up and wish her a happy birthday. She's going to be 89 years old. I hope you had a nice weekend. I worked hard around my house. Listen, I thought today instead of reading you a story, I would show you a little science experiment and I would tell you the story of the water cycle. It's pretty interesting. Water is a very interesting subject. Water, because it's loose and it doesn't have its own shape, is called a liquid. And I bet you know about a lot of other kinds of liquids. Milk is a liquid, orange juice is a liquid, water is a liquid. Melted popsicles are liquid. Anything that loses its shape and fills up a cup or a bowl or makes a puddle is a liquid. It's not like the air, which is a gas, or a table, which is a solid. Anyway, more about that sometime later. Here is the story of the water cycle. Once upon a time, there was a cloud floating over the land. And the cloud was cool, and the drops of water in the cloud got closer and closer together the cooler they got, until they were so heavy they fell out of the cloud and rained down to the ground. And they made puddles, and they filled up lakes and ponds and rivers and streams, and they even went into the ocean and got mixed with salt. And while they were on the ground and in the water, the sun, here I have a little picture of the sun, came out, and the sun made them warmer and warmer and warmer, and those little water droplets in the puddles and in the lakes and in the rivers got so hot they started moving around, and they moved around so fast that they jumped out of the puddle and out of the lakes and out of the ocean, and they went back up in the sky. They were tiny, and as they cooled off, they got closer and closer together until they jumped together and made bigger and bigger drops until they rained down in a different place. And they swam around in the lakes and the rivers and the oceans in this new place until the sun came out and warmed them up. The sun is very hot, and the molecules, the little pieces of water, moved faster and faster and faster until they were moving so fast they jumped out of the puddle again, and they went up in the sky and they cooled off and they jumped together again to make a cloud, and they floated over the land, and they rained down into a new spot and made a new puddle. That is called the water cycle. When the rain goes up, it's called evaporation. When the drops get cool and make a cloud, that's called condensation. And when they get so heavy they fall out of the sky, that's called precipitation. You might hear the weatherman on the radio or the TV talk about, will we have precipitation today? That means, will it rain or will it snow? So here's the science part of this. For this, you're going to need a cup of water. You don't need this much, but I need this to show you how the dropper works. You need a medicine dropper like this one. And if you don't have one like mine, maybe you can get some baby Tylenol out and rinse out the dropper. Or if you don't have one of those, you can use a piece of a drinking straw. I just cut this off of a bigger bendy straw. And this is how this works. All right, this dropper here, there's no water. Well, there's a little water in it. I'll dry it off. There doesn't look like there's anything in there, right? Can you see? No water. If you squeeze, this part's called the bulb. If you squeeze it, there actually is something in there. It's called air. See if you can feel the air squeezing out of your dropper, if you have one. I can show you the air coming out when you squeeze the bulb. Watch this. So when I squeeze the air out and then I let the bulb go, look, can you see the water that's in there? The water went where the air was. Let's do it again. Now I've got water in the dropper. It's half water and half air. I like to pretend that each little drop of water that's in here is a dog. And my dogs are very crowded. They're tired of being inside this tube, and they were tired of being inside the glass. I'm going to take my dogs to the park for a walk. And my park is made of a napkin on the table. And I just tried to do this experiment. I like to use wax paper, but I discovered that this kind of wax paper that's microwave safe, it doesn't really work for this experiment. So if you have regular wax paper, it'll work. But instead what I did is I got some plastic wrap. Any kind will work. And you just lay it on the table. And parents, you might have to weigh down the plastic wrap with a little bit of tape or something or other, because it's, you know how plastic wrap is. But just see. All right, so here's my dogs. I'm going to take them to the park. I'm going to tip the computer so you can see my dog park instead of me. Ready? Whoops. Look at all those dogs at the park. Can you see the drops on the paper? I'm going to take Spot over to meet my friend Fido. You ready? Here, Spot. Come on. Let's go for a walk. Oh, I'm pulling it with my dropper. Woo. Oh, it looks like a snake. Oh my gosh, it made a giant dog. Let's see if I can get one of these little dogs to go over and say hi. You shouldn't eat each other. It's not safe. Oh my gosh, he did it again. Come on, let's go over here and say hi to Fido, Spot, and Fifi. Doop. Now I have 4 dogs in one big puddle. I wonder if I can make them walk around. See if you can make your dogs walk all over the park. You can even use a magic marker and make a path. I'm going to slide my park over. Watch this. Let's go for a walk on the path. Oh, look, now I made 2 dogs out of 1. Oh my gosh, look, I can stretch him out. I wonder if I can make one great big huge puddle in the middle. It's as big as a lake. Let's see, I'm going to lift up my paper and oh, yeah. If you put this on top of a cookie sheet or something, you won't make a mess on the table. But even if you get water on the table, you know what? It'll just make a clean spot. See my great big puddle? Dum-de-dum-dum-dum. I've got all the dogs in one puddle. Oh, now I've got 3 dogs. Oh, that's why you should do it with some. Oh, look at all the dogs I made now. Anyway, this is a lot of fun. If you have some food coloring, you can make your spots different colors, and you can do color mixing. I can't find my food coloring anywhere. I'm going to see if I can borrow some from the neighbor. So have fun. Do some experimenting. See what you can do with water. And when you're done, you can take your dropper and suck up your dogs, put them back in the truck. Or you know what, if you have your drinking straw, watch. I'm going to make a really big puddle right here. I got my little straw. Oh, I had a dog for breakfast.